G'day everyone, I'm Smokescreen and welcome back to another video. This is another installment of the Lewis Hamilton DLC challenge. So here we are at Autodrome Lago Maggiore GP. So following the usual format, I'll show you a full speed lap, slow motion, breakdown, we'll talk about braking points, track limits, etc. And then we'll have a look at another full speed lap so you can use that information from the breakdown to piece together the diamond lap here. So, as usual, explained in previous videos, there of course is a playlist. You can have a look at that and watch all of the laps of the tracks that I have completed thus far. Have a look at that. This is the Lewis Hamilton DLC available for $11.95 from the PlayStation Store. It brings 10 tracks, each with a time set by Lewis Hamilton, the 6-time Formula 1 World Champion, and your task is to basically just beat the time that he set. The 10 tracks are down in the description along with prizes, etc. All the information about it down in the description if you'd like to have a look there. One quick note, the car, Mercedes AMG GT3, it is using 100/100 BoP, so no BoP basically, just stock. Now, the Maggiore, I reckon it's just an average challenge. It's not exceedingly difficult, but you do have to piece together quite a good lap in order to beat the time. We'll have a look, of course, of everything in the breakdown, but yeah. So Maggiore GP, it's the 17 turn. It's a fantasy track, so original Gran Turismo circuit. It's based in Italy. It's 5.8 kilometers long. It's one of 4 layouts of Maggiore here. This is the longest one, the main one, my favourite. So, oh, hang on, 4 layouts. Sorry. Yeah, the main one. It's my favourite. I think it's actually quite a good track, and I reckon it has its place in a Formula 1 calendar, if you ask me. I reckon they could quite easily put Formula 1 cars here and have, quite a fine Grand Prix. But we'll move on. We'll have a look at the lap breakdown now. Actually, have a look at my time there, 55.357 as opposed to 55.455 set by Mr. Hamilton himself. So we'll have a look at the slow motion lap now. I will say I do have the Ghost 0.1 seconds ahead of me, so I can kind of watch him while I'm ahead, or while I'm behind, or on time with him. So we'll have a look. Coming into turn 1, it's just the 90-degree left-hander, braking about halfway between the 100 meter board and the end of that tall fencing on the right-hand side. Trail it in second gear, just roll off the brake right onto the apex, and then we slowly got onto the power, and we have a full burst of acceleration. We're further over to the left than Lewis Hamilton, and he doesn't quite take advantage of track limits there. So you see I've got half of my car up, all over that curb. You see how much time I gain, just able to carry that little bit extra speed throughout the apex of turn 2 there. Now turn 3, you want to bring it over to about the middle of the track and then begin to turn left. I was making a mistake of going way too wide on the entry of this corner in order to carry more speed, but you lose more time going that wide on the entry than you do by having extra speed through there. And then braking earlier than you think for this right-hander. It's extremely easy to go wide through here, but you do not want to do that. And then on the exit you want to straighten up and point towards the red on the exit, and then once the car settles, bring it further over to the right to complete the turn. Heading down towards turn 5, the turn 5 complex. Very difficult corner, especially with this understeery build that this Mercedes is using. So it's extremely easy to get onto the power and just understeer off the track, braking just on the end of the little curb on the left-hand side, down into third gear, keep it nice and wide, trail, and then drop one more gear to get some nice rotation. Look at the rotation on the apex there, that's what you want to get, and then we straight it up for the exit now. It's extremely easy to understeer too wide if you get onto the power too early, and that can only be fractionally early as well. And you see the car naturally goes towards the right-hand side on the exit, which is perfect for the entry to the S's here. Now, the entry to the S's is crucial because you can use quite a bit of the track. I was braking just on the side of the curb and turning in. There's like a little tyre mark halfway along the curb on the entry, and I was turning in on that, and that set me in nicely. You see, throughout the S's here, we'll go through turn 7 now. A rumble strip down the centre of my car, and then turning into turn 8 now, I'm all over the white line, like way past the white line, using all of the types of curbs available there, and then we're able to keep it flat, touch the curb on the exit there, and then we'll bring it back and straight line turns 9, and then it's essentially a straight line, and then turn 10 as well. up onto that white curb, just hooks the car around and then towards the exit curb onto the back straight. So at this point here, 4 tenths, nearly 4.5 tenths up on Lewis Hamilton at this point. I think I did about an hour and a half of practice on here, and then I beat his time slightly. No, I got gold by a few tenths. Yeah, you see, 155.6, and then I just did this lap out of nowhere. Braking between the black box and the end of the wall on the left-hand side for turn 11, big banky boy, and then we'll bring it for the late apex third gear to try and roll the speed through the corner, and then we'll get a nice exit down onto the straight. But yeah, as I was saying, a 155.623, and then I just brought this lap out of the hat, out of the bag, whatever the saying is. There was no real build-up to this particular lap, so obviously I just, got into the groove. Turning in just after the start of the curb there. Now these corners here, in a normal GT3 BoP build, they're flat out easily. You can quite easily, you have to think about your line, but it's quite easy to do so. But in this car, it's just not. You have to lift quite significantly through turn 12 and then a slight lift on the apex of turn 13. And I lose a little bit of time coming up towards turn 14 thanks to that. Braking on the 50 metre board, down into third. Do I drop into second? I don't think I do. And I just trail it into the apex, and that I just get enough rotation in time in order to get onto the power early enough. Bringing out towards the outside curb, you do not want to touch that light strip of grass on the exit there. Once you come off the curb, another light trail brake, keeping it in third gear, and then on the power, on the apex, a little bit too early actually that time, so it's slightly late, so you had to lift once I had gotten onto the power fully. That is a one-way ticket to losing time, but it's not to worry. This lap isn't perfect, but, I'm just showing you how to beat the time here. Final corner is quite tricky as well. 50 metre board down into fourth gear, turning in really, really early. The car, you're going downhill, so the car understeers massively. And then once we get after the apex, just try and get onto the power as early as possible. I didn't quite have my line correct there, and I lost quite a bit of time, about 2 tenths. Well over 2 tenths actually. But yeah, I had quite a large margin at this, first half of the lap, so I was able to take it quite conservatively through the second half of the lap. But you see, that's how I get a 55.357. So I was quite happy with that lap, really, especially because I kind of picked it out of nowhere. But we'll now have a look at a full speed lap now, knowing what we know. We'll talk you through again. Coming into turn 1, braking halfway between the 100 and the end of the tall fencing on the right hand side. Trail it in second gear through turn 1, and then use a lot more curb than Lewis there. See just how quickly I gain throughout the apex of turn 2. Bring it to the centre of the track before turning left for turn 3. You do not want to bring it all the way to the outside, you lose too much time. Braking and turning in way earlier than you think for this right-hander here, because it's off camber, and then we point it straight towards the exit for getting onto the power there. Coming down the straight into turn 5, the turn 5 complex, braking just after the end of that little strip of curb on the exit there, and then drop it into second gear to get that good rotation right on the apex, and then you power up the hill. Bring it over to the right hand side for the entry to the S's, braking just after the start of the curb and turning in on the little tyre mark halfway along that curb, and that gets us into the S's nicely. Rumble strip halfway along the centre of the car, except for the last one where you can get the car entirely onto the white curb there, and then it's just take a nice smooth line of least resistance throughout the last few S's there that are easily flat out. Coming into turn 11, the most famous turn on this circuit here. Look how banked it is, absolutely amazing. Braking halfway between the black box and the 50 metre board on the left hand side. Third gear for the banked corner gets us through there nicely. We actually gain a lot of time through there. Lewis doesn't quite take the best of lines through there. Turning in just on the start of the curb on the entry to the S's there, and a little bit of a lift on each apex just to ensure the car doesn't understeer wide. Coming in towards the top, well, we do brake a little bit late, but it's on the 50 metre board. We do get the car in, so it's not too bad. Don't touch the grass on the exit there. A little bit more trail braking once we get back onto the track, and then we use the curb to hook the car into this left-hander down the hill towards the final turn. 50 metre board, down 1 gear, turn in really early. We get onto the power 2 aggressively in this particular instance, but we had enough of a margin from the first half of the lap to afford to make that little mistake and still beat Mr. Hamilton's
Where
time.
did that come from?
So absolutely amazing that. Another track that I've beat. This is I've done. Yeah, I think I've beat 3 of his laps at this particular point. So I think all those videos should be up by now. Oh well, who knows? Just have a look at the playlist. I hope you found that helpful. I certainly had fun trying to piece that lap together. That was actually a good little challenge there. Not too Not too hard, but not too easy. Monza, I felt, was a little bit too easy, but we won't go there. Some people will find it difficult, of course, with different skill levels, but anyway, we'll stray away from that conversation now. Do hit that like button if you enjoyed, and do hit subscribe if you would like to see more videos like this, as well as conventional videos, pure races, Lewis Hamilton DLC, and any other bits and pieces I like to upload on here. But that's going to be the end of this one today, and that means that is it from me. So once again, I do thank you very much for watching. See you later.